Or is it all just an El Mirage?
Where's my car? Welcome back to Hot Rod Garage. I'm Alex Taylor, and this is Lucky Costa.
Hello.
We have quite the episode ahead of us. It's finally time to go to El Mirage. We started this project last year with the Roadster, where we were going to celebrate 75 years of Hot Rod magazine by going back to the roots of land speed trials.
Like you do.
Land speed goes all the way back to the 30s and 40s, when early hot rodders would use dry lake beds and salt flats as wide open speed proving grounds. It was the racing of the day. So much so that Hot Rod's first cover photo was taken at the El Mirage dry lake bed. We built our Roadster as an homage to that cover car, but we've yet to make it to El Mirage. By the time we got it done, we had lots of inclement weather, which made it where El Mirage wasn't happening for us. However, we were able to take it out and test it a couple times. Benefit to that was we were able to find quite a few things that need to be changed on the car. One is that we still need to get padding around the head and helmet area.
Halo area?
Yeah. We have a couple handles to move and resituate, because turns out I'm kind of sitting like this, crunched up. It's very small. And then we just need to do a couple more things to get it up to pass tech, which is add a couple of Zeus buttons to the hood and just a couple things here and there we need to address. Now, just as importantly as the Roadster being ready for competition is to make sure that our push truck is ready for its duty. In land speed racing, the push truck is the unsung hero. Most land speed cars are geared for their high speed, which makes it a little bit hard for them to get off the line under their own power, or maybe they have parts they're trying to protect until they get up to a higher speed. The trouble with our push truck is that it steers just like a drunk bull as soon as it hits 50 miles an hour. So in order to remind ourselves of how sketchy this is, we thought we'd go for another test drive. Oh, you're turning the steering wheel, but we're not really turning.
It's doing stuff.
Wow.
So let's pay some attention to that. So first thing on the list will be excessive steering play.
Give her a little gas.
How fast we going?
I know, 50. We're doing 50.
Oh, 50's good.
You got
Excellent.
30 more mile an hour over this, though. You're gonna need.
It'd be nice with it steered straight.
You know, we only have like a mile to get up the speed or something. So,
Gotcha.
like, we need to be able to do it at a reasonable rate. 40, 45, 55, 60 miles an hour, 65. You got up to 65.
And there's the testing, trying to simulate real-world driving conditions.
Okay, this is a perfect test right here.
Yeah,
You think I need some suspension work?
something.
Okay.
I believe on the panel, all we have to change is everything between the wheels
Yeah.
and between the bumper and the trans-cross member.
That sounds simple.
So we're gonna find out exactly what's going on with the straight axle. It has kingpins in it. That's a bit of a pain to work with, but it should be kind of cool when it's right. Leaf springs on the left and the right with bushings in the front and the rear. I think we're gonna replace the entire spring, drag links, tie rod ends, a gearbox overhaul kit. In addition to all the suspension work we have to do just to make it steer, we have to figure out a way to make it push the front of that without affecting this super attractive cattle guard.
Very
so
nice.
I believe we're gonna attach something up there that will line up with the wheel on the back of that.
Correct.
The push wheel.
So overall, quite a bit of work to do, but the main thing is we need that to push this, we need this to pass tech, that also kind of needs to pass the rule book, and we just have to make all this happen so we can get to El Mirage.
Now you're pushing your luck.
So we have tested this twice, took it out 2 days. We took it to the airport one and then to the track for the second at HRG day. We knew that when we had it out a full day of testing at the airport, we had no issues. It shifted perfectly fine.
That was the day you were only gonna go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you went like 130 or something.
120.
By accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we knew it worked. Everything was good. When we took it to HRG day, which has been transported a couple times in between then, I couldn't get it in second gear. Dad and Lucky crawled under here. What they found was that something moved. Believe it's something in the mount of the transmission, which is what we're looking at now. And the shifter, the actual movement, because that's happening on the outside of the transmission, that piece was actually hitting the floor, preventing the shift from happening.
Yeah, unlike regular transmissions where the shifting mechanism is all encased in oil and inside the trans housing, this actually has a whole bunch of levers and slides and arms, all external, that are, it could see some debris or dirt or dust. In this case,
it's on the floor.
It's on the floor.
To get by at the track, pulled the transmission over and out of the floor by putting a couple hose clamps, which was an at the track fix.
You know what? That is some creative stuff right there. I'm gonna give your pops props.
Anyways, it was a temporary fix, so we're gonna find out where the movement actually happened, and we're gonna fix that, and then we should be good to go.
Yeah.
So last year when we were working on the Roadster, one of the things I really wanted to do for looks, and I thought functionality, was put the leather straps on the side of the hood to hold it down. And then David Freiberger messaged me and says, I think you should check the rule book. So basically it's saying that we have to have some kind of hold down other than the leather straps, spring style like it has. I can still keep those on there, but in order for it to be adequate, we have to put at least 4 Zeus buttons, and we've got those right here. So we got a whole kit, and we're gonna make this legal. And just as a reminder, we always have to go back to this rule book right here.
Okay, so got this thing racked, which is not an easy task all by itself. We did do the wheel bearings, new drums, linings, lines, and wheel cylinders before we took this on the road previously, but that did not help the amount of slop that is in the steering gearbox. The actual pitman arm, the gearbox shaft, has a certain amount of slop in it. It's okay for the pitman arm to roll forward and back. It literally articulates like this, which makes it steer. However, it's not supposed to go in and away from the frame. That's where the slop is. The bushing's just worn out there. So we're gonna address that issue. And then the other gig is this. You would think this is a loose wheel bearing because there is a certain amount of slop there. You can tell that there's an end point where it stops each direction, which makes me think something's worn out. Okay, let's take it apart. Okay, so what I'm trying to do right now is take the spindle and backing plate off in one shot. Should just be 4 bolts. We can do that. It's going to save us some time. We don't have to go into the hydraulics or anything and bleed anything out. So I will hopefully remove all this in one piece, hang it from a fender well, and see how that works.
So that is 2 of what could have been 4 legally. Like, that's what we have to have. However, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more, and then we're going to do at least 2 up here. We'll be here a while. The Zeus buttons, also known as quarter turn fasteners, are lightweight little fasteners that are really awesome. They attach and detach panels with just a 90-degree turn of their head. So gone with 6 Zeus buttons here. Technically, rulebook-wise, you only have to have 4. These are just for rulebook and added precaution. So anyways, Zeusing the last one up, keeping the leather straps. We'll lock those down. And then we can put a done stamp on this.
All right, so with this thing all taken apart, it's literally stripped down to just an iron chunk of iron. Now I just need to throw it on the stand, roll it outside, and con somebody into getting a wire brush on a cordless and cleaning the whole thing up. And then we're gonna paint it black, put it back, eventually hit the track. Now let me just grab this thing. If only somebody would help me on that side. There we go. And then carefully.
We are back getting our land speed Roadster ready to pass tech and getting our push truck ready to drive at push truck speeds. All right, I mentioned a couple times, but last year at HRG Day, thought that I suddenly just couldn't shift this thing in second gear, left me questioning myself. Turns out a couple bolts had stripped in the transmission case, which allowed the back of the transmission to scoot over just enough, which put the sliders running into the sheet metal floor, which made it where I couldn't get into second gear. To permanently fix that, I'm gonna drop this mount, helicoil the bolt holes that are stripped, and then we're gonna actually slot the mount right here just enough that we wanna move the transmission over just a little bit. That way we gain a little bit of extra clearance for the sliders. Still keeps everything in line, everything will still be good, but we should not have that issue anymore after this.
Okay, so gonna put the leaf springs back in it right now. These are brand new items. We did have to use a couple of the original bolts. Luckily, they just thread into the bushing that is pressed into the leaf spring. These are the new pins for the rear, all new with all new bushings. I'm just gonna try to make it so that the Zerk fittings are facing the same direction. That is a sign of professionalism is what that is, which is why I'm double checking. I could be able to massage that around.
All right, so as you can see, I now have a dental cart acquired here. I've got a couple tools to select from because one thing turns into another. While those bolts were both stripped, this side of the housing you can also see is cracked. So Mike could use it as is because it's got a very deep thread. But I'm gonna go ahead and weld it up so it doesn't get any worse. So I'm going to grind it out, make a nice V-slot, clean it up, weld it, shape it back, helicoil it, and then we'll be back in action. Race cars, hot rods, anything semi-custom, they always present problems. You know, you got that checklist with like 3 things, and you think you'll knock it out in 2 hours max, and then you spend 6 hours and kind of get one of them done. It's exactly what happened with this transmission. So originally I went to fix the stripped holes, then found out the case was broke on one side, then found out it was broke on the other side. So I was like, okay, slight kink in the plan, but we'll just cut it out, clean it up, weld it, it'll be good to go. One side kind of worked, and then the other side continued to not take a weld. Well, that led to the question of maybe this isn't aluminum, maybe it's magnesium. In the case of this Tex Racing 101A, it is a magnesium case. We're lucky we didn't catch it on fire. Since I went ahead and started to try to repair this with aluminum, now that metal is all corrupted and it's not gonna be easy to fix as is. But whatever the case is for now, gonna bolt this up, Loctite it in. It's got enough threads to hold it tight. That way I can get back to other stuff that will stop us from passing tech, like the roll cage padding.
Okay, spindles installed, spacers in place, bolts lining up. This is the new tie rod end with the new ends on it. I'm going to install it right now. In somewhat kind of tight. Okay, we're taking out the old, putting in the new. Wow, these are pretty close to an accurate reproduction of a vintage shock. We're going to be replacing stock for new. Okay, so this RS 5000 Rancho shock is 100% installed. One more shock to do, and that will be the shocking conclusion of the shock installation. We'll shock you later.
As projects often go, something really simple turned into something really complicated on our land speed Roadster. Thought I was just gonna fix a couple stripped out bolt holes. Turns out the case was cracked. Thought I could weld that with aluminum. It's one of those where you're like, oh, this will still be simple. Well, turns out the case is magnesium. Had we known that, we might could have welded it better. Long story short, it's repaired. The case is not totally repaired, but I was able to tap up higher, pull some threads from higher up that hadn't been touched, hadn't been broken. It's Loctited, it's bolted. I don't want to touch it again, don't want to touch that again. And you know what? I can't stand you either. And with that said, it's time to move up and work on padding around the head space.
So I took the front brake hubs off the truck, took it over the tank, cleaned it. We've updated a couple things. This thing came originally with literally ball bearings. Ball bearing with ball bearing races that have the little dimple in there. So this is what used to be in there. They worked fine from 1957. However, this is the new hookup. This is a tapered roller bearing. It's a modified center race that allows you to put a seal on the inside. It used to be just like a piece of felt smashed between a couple of washers. It was very antiquated. This is the new because the other new ones are already installed with the seal right there. I'm gonna put it on right now. So the instructions clearly said to torque this to 50 pounds while spinning the hub, let the bearings seat. Then you back it off till it feels good and there's no slop. If you feel anything, it's not right. That feels nice and solid, and it still spins. Okay, in the cotter pin, there's lots of different ways to do this. I do all the cotter pins like this. Cut off the excess, cut this one straight. Forget about that.
So last year, when we were getting ready to go to El Mirage, I actually already got these plates ready to go in the car. Just kind of ran out of time and had other stuff happen. So just bent them up out of sheet metal and going to use these brackets right here, which were recommended from the company that's going to be filming these panels. And these are a 2-piece clamp that came from Summit All-Star Performance brand. And one piece right here will bolt on right here. So I've made my markings where I want to drill and bolt it to. And then the other side will bolt on and it'll clamp around the bar. Now that may be hard to get a visual reference. However, lucky for you guys, there's one bacon already done that I actually set up last year. So now take this over to the car, show you guys how it works, and then repeat again and again until we have all the padding plates ready to take measurements from.
Okay, so I thought I was super close to being done. Ends up there's another set of leaf springs that came in just about a day late. Have to start chiseling through the years and years and years of grease. Somebody was like lube happy. They pumped grease into this thing. It's coming apart really easy. No rusty nuts here.
So I got all of these pieces, the surround pieces in, and theoretically everything looks good right now. I put my helmet on so I could see where we were at, and I realized really quickly I don't have any head clearance. So I referred to the rule book, and this right here isn't something that would keep us from passing tech. The fact that the helmet will hit with even a thin pad. However, from a safety standpoint, when you say you were to roll the car, your belts are still going to stretch. You could be as tight as you could be, but the belts will stretch. If your head is right there and you have any flex on this, or even just the impact of hitting that without any air gap, is going to hurt your neck. You're going to have some kind of injury come out of that, or at least pain nonetheless. So having that air gap is really important. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take these mounts out that I have up here, and I'm going to build a couple new straps and weld it right here where it's flush, taking up as little room as possible, and then do that in 2 different places. That will buy a lot of space because it was hanging down so much. It's gonna increase clearance by about ½ an inch, and yeah, modify, adjust, and we'll come back to this in just a little bit. Okay, so I got the straps cut, welded, ground down so it's as flat as possible, and they are pretty much ready to go. I just have to drill a couple holes, do a couple nut starts, and it'll be time to put this panel that goes right here back in. It's actually gonna be done right. I feel good about it. Took maybe 30 more minutes, and that shows that sometimes it's easier just to act than think about it.
So this panel van is going to be a push vehicle out at El Mirage Lake Bed, pushing our land speed car. So one of the last things we have to do in the back of this vehicle is to take these shocks off and put on some new ones. I really don't know why we're taking these off. This is the type of patina that cannot be bought. Actually, they're worn out. They got their money's worth out of them. And we have some new Rancho RS 9000. That would be better than a 5000. It's a 9000. It's actually an adjustable rear shock.
All right, so last night left off by clamping this up, getting a game plan for today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to give a nice little tap here so that way I can drill a hole, get everything lined up, and then I've got some 1/4-20 nut certs. So I'll get the front one mounted, that way I know it's in place, and then I'll go to the back and do that same. So that way everything is nice and square. And then this will be all bolted in and good to go. So you may remember from before that this had a lot of space here, and it was really spaced down in this back area because up front was clamped a little tighter, and that was a little tighter, but the middle was really hanging down. So we have picked up a lot of clearance in the most critical part, and I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work.
Okay, truck's coming down, it's coming off the lift. Once we get the wheels on, we're gonna take it off the lift completely because we need all the weight of the vehicle on the suspension. There's a good chance that these brand new springs are gonna need to settle. And so we're gonna take it for a little spin around the block, put a little heat into the springs, bring it back in, check the right height, measure the right height, and then start mounting the push bumper on the front of the vehicle to match up with the back of the 32 Land Speed car, because this is a push vehicle. So we have not been to the alignment shop yet, but it has all new bushing, shims, tie rod ends, ball joints, shackles, shackle bolts, new grease, leaf springs are new. It's all new. So we're gonna cruise around this lovely community that we're located in, and put a little heat into the springs, let them settle down.
Okay.
What we'll end up with is the actual ride height of the vehicle. The springs are gonna settle, it'll go down to the ride height. Because ride height is super important right now, because I'm gonna be pushing you around.
Oh.
So what we're looking for is bumps, or we're looking for articulation and bumps and dips. You want the springs to actually be getting used.
We don't want nice and smooth.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
It feels good. It feels
Really?
good. As soon as you turn the wheel,
It's actually reacting.
it's moving, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Jump in. Craters.
Those aren't bad.
Sucking up the bumps.
Okay, overall, how do you feel?
I feel good about it. Okay, well, I think maybe far enough. I think if they're gonna settle, they've settled. Hit as many potholes and dips on the way back to the shop. And then we'll put everything on the ground and then go to wood shop. Wood shop is our next. Oh, wood butcher, something else to add to my resume.
Yeah.
Nice. Made it. That was a good time right there.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
It's still bumpy.
Yeah, it's still pretty whoopty.
It's a little better, right?
I will say this, the last time we were on the freeway driving next to a trash truck, and I was doing this with the wheel, nothing much was happening.
That's
And then if you went a little bit further, it felt like the back would kick. And then at one point, it felt like the whole thing was sort of doing the shimmy.
Okay.
A couple times there was some crazy death wobble.
Yeah.
We have no more of that.
Okay.
It feels good.
So remember, this is all very important part of the conversation because this is the push vehicle for the Land Speed Roadster. And according to Lee Kennedy, who is not only a master of tech, but he's also a master of pushing people, there is an art to pushing. And I don't imagine you can have a very good art if you don't have the proper tools to do that art. So this is very important that it works.
So what's left? You got some switches to push around over there?
Switches and handles.
And I have some wood butchery to do. See you over there.
Goodbye again. Bye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye. All right, so if you guys can't tell, it's a little chilly in the shop, which is why I'm kind of all bundled up here. And this seems like a really nice nap spot for that because it's all tight and cozy. However, it's like really gives you claustrophobia when you're trying to drive. So with that said, it's time to move some stuff around. So some things that I want to change. Right here, there's the shifter, the parachute, and the master disconnect, all right here. I'm basically resting my arm on the master disconnect. I'm really concerned that I'll accidentally hit it going down the track. The parachute, hard to get over and reach to when you're in fourth gear. With that said, immediately right there is fire suppression, so it's very hard. I mean, it's so confined. And then all the switches, I had to, when I'm actually belted in, reach across my body to turn stuff off. Some stuff has to move somewhere else, and that somewhere else may be an inch that way and a quarter inch that way, but we just gotta get some kind of separation. The stuff is no longer friends. It's gotta go.
Okay, so we got the panel backed into a safe spot. It's on the ground. We put heat into the springs. Now I'm gonna measure the height of the push vehicle. The idea is we're gonna put a big push plate in the front of the panel vehicle that will be lining up with the wheel on the back of this vehicle. The deal is 32 has this wheel on the back, allows us to push against it while we're driving another vehicle. And if anything happens, like we're not perfectly aligned, this wheel will allow for everything to stay nice and safe. However, we want that to land squarely in the middle of that wood. That gives us plenty of margin to chase her down the track, push her as fast as we can go so that she can go as fast as she can go. Since we are doing a little woodwork, I'm using a drywall square to mark where the wheel is. And then I'm gonna go over and know that when I put this on the front of that bumper, I can mark exactly where the middle of that plate should be. I'll see you over at the panel. Okay, so what's going on here is I've taken some, I believe it's 4-inch by 1 inch or 1.5 thick wall, and some metal we had laying around. And what I'm gonna end up building is a couple of arms and hang this to the cattle guard, but allow it to rest on the bumper, then mount the wood to it, and then use it to push the land speed car. So this will be on the front of the vehicle, but obviously 3 feet apart. And then this will be sitting on it, but like I said, 3 feet apart. There will be 2 of these pieces of wood there because it has to be able to push a good amount of weight. So moving this up here, so it will be that thick. And then 2 more pieces I'm gonna cut right now, but these will be specific length. They're gonna rest on the top of the bumper and go back against the cattle guard. And then the U-bolts will go right through the front and attach everything to the cattle guard. So this is one of the legs and a little scrap of wood that we have left. I'm just sort of holding it up to get an idea of about how high we want it. When I used the simulated land speed car wheel, it shows me that the wheel's gonna be riding just beneath the crest of the bumper right here. So I want to make sure the center of this wood is close to the bottom of the bumper. So that's about the center. It looks like if I put that extension right at the very top right here, it will put our contact patch right in the middle of the wood, which is at the bottom of the bumper.
Welcome back. Still in the exact same spot, and everything looks the same, but it's not. We moved them this much. They moved this far forward, 3 fingers wide. The only other thing that I'm gonna address is I'm gonna move this master disconnect right here under the switch panel. That way I can just come over and punch it if I need to turn it off. I think it's still gonna get everything out of the way. I think it's gonna be clean. Flaming River actually sells a bracket that holds this rotary style master disconnect that we got from them. And I think that is our only option for now. So you guys aren't gonna see that at the moment because we gotta get that part ordered, but that's okay. You'll see it at El Mirage where hopefully we don't have to use it.
Are we almost done?
Finally. This is like a year plus in the
What
making.
are we gonna milk this for?
But we have made it. The Roadster is finally done. It's just it needs wrap / paint.
You're gonna paint it up or something?
Yeah, it's gonna be nice looking.
Really? All right,
Yeah.
cool.
But then the panel truck,
That thing is good. It's good to go.
I actually feel like
We had
it
a
is.
nice little drive around in it, and
Yeah.
maybe just hit the alignment, make sure everything's safe and tight.
New
Get rid
tires.
of those tires.
Yeah.
Put them back on the big rig they came off of. I don't
Yeah.
know where he got those.
So all joking aside, we finally have the right combination to take us to El Mirage. The Roadster behind me, I actually feel really good about, and I think the panel truck is going to not only look right, but I think it'll actually perform for what we're needing it to do with the Roadster.
Exactly. Drag snacks and push cars.
So goal is to get there, actually compete, pass tech. I mean, that's obviously a huge one. That's a win in itself.
Yeah, the novel that they give you.
Yeah, and I mean, enjoy it because it's an experience. It's something that holds a lot of history, and we actually get to be a part of that.
Yeah, I've never been. I'm looking forward to going.
Okay, that means you guys need to come with us to El Mirage because that time has finally come.
Absolutely. Pack your tackle box, grab your wakeboard. We're going to El Mirage.
Don't forget your flotation device.
Uh-huh. Safety first. Okay, so we've made it to El Mirage. Is this a Mirage? Is this real?
It sure seems like it's real
Actually,
fake.
is this happening right now?
We're finally at El Mirage, but the whole actual meet, the SETA part of it, that part is still a Mirage.
We're actually here alone.
Because the meet got canceled
Last week,
due to excessive heat.
no meet because of heat.
But we're out here. The course looks decent, and I have plenty of practice in the Roadster. I've been in it quite a few times, given it a try, driven it. We made some modifications last time, though.
Right.
Now, the other fine-tuned piece of machinery we need to get to is you. Today is your day. So Lucky is going to be, unfortunately, pushing me around today.
That's right. Get used to it.
Today is the first time that our push truck will be in action, and the whole goal is for us to learn this dance between push truck and race car and get a sense of what the fastest mile an hour is that we can get to before the Roadster pulls away at just the right time. The faster mile an hour that he can push me to before I take off, the better chance I have at a big mile an hour at the finish line. It's kind of like just an extra bump towards our goal. So over there, in the distance,
Beyond the shrubbery.
there's a course. We gotta go find it because I don't actually know where it's at. There's no markings because, well, no one's out here.
And there are some crevasses over there, so we have to plot a course just to be able to get the car to the course.
Correct. All right, so while I would love to do a full speed run, this is open to the public.
Absolutely. This is not a private event.
Because there is no actual meet today, there's also no safety crew, there's nobody to block the course off. If we were to start pushing and we got up to speed and then we get to 3/4 of a mile down and Joe Schmo in the airplane wants to land out there, that's gonna be a bad ending for the both of us.
At any given moment, a hang glider with an engine and a propeller on the back of it could just fly right through the course.
We're just trying to say we're gonna go as fast as we feel comfortable, trying to get enough push practice in for Lucky. That way, when we can actually go full speed, when the course is really, truly blocked off and shut down, like in an SETA event, we'll be ready.
I concur with your diagnosis.
We should probably go find the course.
Should we?
I think it exists.
We're
Okay.
driving this thing?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Now, we're plotting this course because we have to drive a lowered vehicle out here.
Yeah,
So yeah, visual reference is whatever that is.
yeah.
We're to the east of it. So I see a lot of coming this way here. Specifically,
I still think further out. I think out there is the way to go. Turn wheel right,
turning it right,
go straight,
going straight.
and it looks decent out here. I'm gonna put a cone here,
Here.
right here.
All right. It's probably the middle of the lake bed.
Yeah, so if we went that way and checked it and that way and checked it, then I think we'd have a run.
You know, it looks like that's the route.
That's a nice lake bed.
It does look very nice here. So let's go this way. All she's got, Captain!
Nice.
So let's set out 2 cones on either side right here. Tell me when. I think like right here, it looks like people were goofing around doing donuts or something, so.
Yeah, start right here. Because
Yeah.
right there we get kind of nasty.
Yeah.
Right
here.
here. Okay. I feel like
No, back a little. Oh, just a little bit that way. That's the spot.
so. We have a course somewhat plotted. I don't know the distance. I don't know the direction.
It's pretty far and it's pretty wide.
Our thoughts were though, because this isn't out here drug and checked, we've made a course that we feel like is a safe enough distance that is smooth without ruts across it, and we have a good start, and we're gonna go down and check one more time just to see if anything were to happen, how far of a shutdown we have. We've opted to run the actual direction of the course, even though we're running a shorter distance, because I don't wanna run left to right and potentially get into scrub brush. That's a bad day.
Scrub brush.
You're a scrub brush.
I saw that band.
Let's go.
We ready to go?
Yeah. So this, well, it looks like just a dry lake bed. This is the proving grounds for early hot rodding. It continues to be proving grounds for hot rods and speed, but it really plays a really key element in the early days of hot rods because there wasn't tracks, there wasn't all of that readily available. they came out here and found a dry lake bed. And that shows the innovation that they had, because they could have just not done it, but they found a place, they came out here, they hot rodded, they developed parts, and that has led us to hot rodding today. So, feel very lucky to be out here on this ground, and we get to make some runs in our Roadster, and I just get chill bumps thinking about it. So with that said, I think it's time to hit the dirt. So here's how it works. Most land speed cars are geared so high that it's hard for them to get going on their own, and then it takes a long time for them to get up to speed. This gearing is done with the top end speed in mind, and the push truck is able to make up for the start. Since El Mirage is an especially short course at only 1.3 miles total, the job of the push truck is extra important. It gets the car up to a speed where it can actually start accelerating in a reasonable amount of time. And then once that goal is met, the push truck falls away and the car speeds off to record-breaking glory. And that is what we're practicing. We were crooked when I started. It was my fault. I wasn't straight. So then Lucky's following my angle, which puts us off course. So we've picked a mountain in the distance that we're shooting for. I just need to make sure I'm lined up there. The sooner that we can get the car off of the push truck with speed, the better. So we're going to try to work through that. This is a teamwork exercise. We're doing teamwork here, team building. Way better.
It was really good, huh?
That
sounds expensive.
Don't need that, right?
Who's Hans, and why is he always laying around?
All right, that really felt a lot better. I did figure something out.
I am the ultimate pusher.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
You're not too shabby.
Okay.
But this arm restraint, too short. I fumbled, put it right back in first gear because I couldn't jam it to third. And I tried to get it over there, and it did its job. It was restraint. So we did that in second gear.
That was second gear?
Yeah.
Those are good gears.
Yes.
Right.
So do you know what mile an hour we pushed off at?
I think it was like 57 miles an hour.
57,
Yeah.
Okay. I think what I want to do on my side is I want to not get RPM as early. I don't want to get in the gas as early as I did.
Right.
So, because
Well,
it
it
just
seemed like I
comes
was
up.
pushing you for a second, and then, because when you were ready to go, you were gone.
Well, when I clicked off, did you see the back end
Yeah,
fishtail
you
a
were
little?
getting it right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that felt pretty good, but I'm just going to save getting into it RPM-wise until we're a little bit further down.
Gotcha.
I think we're going to let the car cool just a second, make sure our course stays good, and then I'm going to fix this darn arm restraint so I can get to third gear. We got to check that, and then we'll be good to go.
I'm gonna be over here in the shade.
Yeah, I don't blame
You'll
you.
see me. I'll be right over here.
Goodbye.
All right, so this is gonna be our third pass. I'm rolling up right now. What I'm doing is I'm using the hump on the hood. I've pre-aligned the cars, and the hump on the hood is parallel to the H of Hot Rod Special on the back. So I'm creeping up on it right now. Car's in drive. That was a delicate attach. And here we go. Miles an hour is as fast as I can go. And she clearly found third gear that time, because I am eating dust.
All right, that felt really good. Lucky had some speed under that push. I don't know what he was going. I've been leaving off of him in second gear, and on that one, I came off in the top of second, needing to shift immediately. So since I know he's got some speed under him, I'm gonna try taking off in third. Seeing how that affects us could be good, could be bad, but we're gonna try it. Let's do it.
It was a good time, definitely. It was better than the couple before when you were doing all that. Was that the Texas two-step?
It's called the shuffle.
The Lakeside Skid?
The Lakeside Skid,
It
yes,
was
that's our new
something.
dance.
Something for sure.
Yeah, so the last two passes really gave us a lot of information. We were happy with both of them. On the second to last run, I tried staying in second gear, and then he got me up to about 55 miles an hour. I took off, and that all felt pretty decent, except I was already at the top of second gear, meaning it was time for me to shift pretty much as soon as I took off from the push car.
Right, and when you depress the clutch and go to shift gears, you're slowing down just a little bit. Then you get in the third gear, then you got to kind of build up momentum all over again. So how do we cure that problem?
So basically what we did, he kept around the same speed, a couple miles an hour more, and then I went in third gear, and I had plenty of time after push off to get some speed under me before a shift. It was clean, it was smooth, it felt really good.
Absolutely, I got in there, I gave it all the beans.
You did.
All the beans, and you were in third gear to receive the beans, and then we were bean powered all the way down the track.
That's a fact. Just to reiterate, the whole goal of the push vehicle is we want to be able to make the course longer, so to say, by shortening the distance it takes to get up to speed. These have a little bit of perfection that they can have. This one needs a little bit different gearing because I think we're gonna run out of gear once we go to a full course.
Luckily, it has a quick change rear end, so it's just a matter of buying some gears, taking the cover off, and putting whatever set you want in there.
And seeing that the push truck is basically maxing out its speed potential pushing this car, I would love to see a bunch more power under the hood. So we have a few thanks to send
We have quite a few people to thank. Gear Star Transmissions, that we were able to go through all the gears in this thing, no problem whatsoever.
Always keeps us reliable.
Right.
Holly.
Absolutely. Driving this thing is like a dream.
Mickey Thompson over here on the Roadster.
And take a little vibration out of this, we have Toyo tires in the front, a more aggressive tread pattern for the off-road application.
What a variety of tires. We also have DSP who foamed and covered our head pads that are inside the Roadster cage.
I noticed those. Those are
They
very
look
nice.
so good. They do. They do. We also have Dennis and Vehicle Effects. His guys, they got us all hooked up with the graphics and the decals and made it happen in a very short period of time.
And it looks amazing. It looks patina. It looks like period correct.
I'll send a shout out to my sister Meg because she helped me design that, got it all laid out. Thank you, Meg. And then last but not
If I
least,
helped you, you mean you thought of it and she made it?
that's how it works.
All right.
Ideas, action. It's great.
So is that it?
I think so. I think we're done.
Okay.
Do you have social media?
I do. Thank you so much for asking.
Really? What
I am
is it?
Mobile Tech Lucky on absolutely everything.
Very nice. Very nice.
Now, do you have social media also?
Why, actually, I do. It is Alex Taylor Racing, and we are Hot Rod Garage Show.
Yes, we are.
Let's go to the lake.
It's not a lake. That's a El Mirage.
Okay, fair enough.